Mac, what's going on, buddy? You're first. Zero Hard Rock Hemi Challenger. What's up, folks? What's up? What's going on this Wednesday night? Chris, One Bad Plum. What's up, buddy? Everybody's in a little bit early tonight. Waiting on the tune from Dave. Nice. I know, Jay. Jay, what's up, buddy? I know, Mac's first to be here. That's amazing. He's probably in every Wednesday and just doesn't say anything. So when he can catch me ripping him when I rip him on the weekly Wednesday nights. Dave is a busy man, and so is Mac. So yeah, they're both pretty busy. But Zero, he'll get to you. I promise you. I promise you he'll get to you. Well, Mac, I hope you get to feeling better, buddy. It's always tough to go to work when you're not feeling good. We'll give folks a couple more minutes to get up in here, and then we'll get started. When I head to Fredericksburg, hope you and Mac are there. Well, when are you going to be there, Zero? Let me know. Let me know when you're going to be there. I can't promise you I can make it, but I can definitely try. That's good, man. Yeah, Dave's pretty good. Sometimes he's a little slow because he's busy, but he is pretty good with communication, and so is Mac. Eric coming in late. You ain't late, man. It's not quite 9 o'clock yet, is it? Nope, you're still early. Randy, what's going on, buddy? Mac, got to make some more parts and weld them together. Mac's always got something to do, man. Always got something to do. Hey, we'll tell Nicole I said hi, Mac. Tell her I said hi. We'll see her on Friday night if she shows up. Damon, what's up, buddy? Taking your truck to EFI Specialties? Yeah, buddy. They'll take care of you. Mac and Dave will hook you up. Zero, I'm in North Carolina. Just switched to E85 and want a dyno. I got you. Mike in the house. What's up, buddy? Damon getting the cam put in it. Nice. Sweet. Like I said, Mac and Dave will take care of you. Now, sometimes they are busy, so sometimes they're a little slow in communication and getting back to you. But I promise you, they'll get back to you eventually. And that's any shop nowadays, especially if you go to, a well-known shop that does great work. They're always booked up and they're always busy. All right, it's a tad bit after 9, so as always, we'll do a shake and bake update, and then we'll get back into the chat. So where we're at with shake and bake, what Mac did on Saturday evening was he made a special house call for Dawn. He did make a special house call for Dawn. So he swung by here. We left the FC controller hooked up, the FC2 controller hooked up. So what we did is we ran the single pump, the 450 Walboro, the main pump. We hooked it up to the FC2 controller. So I got something that I can at least just drive the car around. No big hits, nothing crazy, but I can drive the car around. And then this Friday, we're going to go ahead and put in the FC3 rewire everything how Mac wants to rewire it, right? Nothing's ever wrong. It's just people do it different ways. So we're going to rewire it the way Mac wants to rewire it, and put that FC3. If you guys seen the the video that I put out, we're going to put the FC3 controller behind the water tank and then the circuit breaker beside of it, and then run the power and ground right there. So that's the short-term future of Shake and Bake. And then next week, hopefully if things work out right, next Thursday, we'll go ahead and get the torque converter put in. And then it's balls to the walls from there. So in a nutshell, that's the latest update on Shake and Bake. So triple pumps will be in on, well, triple pumps and the hob switch and all of that will be hooked up on Friday. And then next Thursday, hopefully we can get the torque converter in, get to Summer Duck to do some front half testing and front half tuning. And then it's balls to the walls after that. 100%. So there you go, folks. There's where we're at. That's where we're going. So next Thursday, everything will be in and we'll be up and running. And then we can look at cutting the current torque converter open to check it. And then also finally getting to the 5.7 and figuring out what happened to that. So there you go. There's kind of the future. Let me get into the chat a little bit. So Damon, yeah, getting your cam put in. That's awesome, buddy. You'll notice the difference. Good cam and a good tune. You'll notice the difference for sure. Jay's going back to Mac. Zero at Damon. Me too. All right, Zero. All right, Jay, we said what's happening Friday. Yeah, I think we'll easily hit 1200, especially running ice. We may not hit 1200 without ice, but I am almost positive we'll hit 1200 plus with ice for sure. All right, Jay's going back to Mac because he got him some more carbide bits because we ruined one taking off Don's old bead locks. We tore up his carbide bit, so Jay got him some new ones. Damon, yeah, email, and they work nights. 2-month wait. Yeah, that's fairly typical. I mean, if you go to some shops, it's 3 or 4 months. So, yeah, 2 months is not bad. And I waited for over a month, right at a month, to get my triple pumps back. But 4 made it right. They freaking awesome. Awesome. So, a little back and forth, some communication snafus between moving and new servers and doing some tweaks to their email system and stuff like that. It happens. It happens. But, he finally hooked me up and we got one hooked up and the other 2 are getting hooked up on Friday. That's how you can tell it's a good shot. Yeah. If there's a good, decent weight, it's a good shot. Mike, don't forget to hit that like button. Yeah, folks, hit that like button. Definitely hit that like button, no doubt. The likes help out. All right, Max going back to Jay. Hadn't used them yet. Puking and working on the car. You are dedicated, Mac. There's no doubt about it. Jay's going back to Mac. Nice. Damon says perfect. Testing is definitely fun, no doubt about it. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, we're getting there. It just takes time, and that's why I say if you're gonna go this far with your car, I kind of put the crossing the line when you get over 1,000 rear wheel horsepower. Just be ready for things to slow down significantly because they will. So parts will slow down significantly. Getting into a shop to get someone to do the work slows down significantly. And there's a more significant chance that things are going to break once you go over 1,000 rear wheel horsepower. So be careful what you ask for sometimes, and you got to be ready for what you ask for. So make sure you do your research and understand when you go that far, things are going to happen, and it's going to take time to fix it. Zero, does the one-piece drive shaft shop have vibration? Mine doesn't. So Mac and Jay are doing some work with East Coast Drivelines. They have a nice drive shaft as well. Zero, I would, while you're either at the shop, talk to Dave and Mac about a one-piece drive shaft, and they'll definitely hook you up. But mine doesn't. Some people do say they have vibration with their single one-piece drive shaft. Maybe I'm lucky. I don't know. Or just good. One or the other. But yeah, I don't have any vibration in mine. Mike, by the way, I have a East Coast Driveline carrier bearing upgrade for sale, unused. There you go. Someone wants to upgrade their carrier bearing. Mike's got one for sale. Eric's saying 1256. Ooh, that might be a bit generous, but it'd be nice to see. Definitely nice to see. I'm not shying away from 1256. But from 1177 to 1256, that's 80 some horsepower. That's a lot of horsepower to pick up with boosting the fuel pressure a little bit and putting a little bit of ice in there. But I'm saying we're probably in the 1220s. I think is where we're going to be. Tim, evening, buddy. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate it. Mike goes one under you, Eric. 1255. This is the price or horsepower. The price or horsepower. We'll call it a game. Let's see. I skipped too far. Here we go. Jay needs Max to fix my colossal welding mistake. All right, Damon. 2012 with 6-speed trans is only downfall. He said up to 75. Oh, and not much torque. Yeah, the manuals are a little bit different, but 75 is something you're going to be able to feel. No doubt about it. You'll be able to feel it. But dyno will feel that. Tim, Grandpa, if you're breaking tooling, slow that machine down. Yeah, buddy. One bad plums, zero. I have heard that. Currently running one piece from East Coast with no issues. Yeah, like I said, Mac has a relationship with East Coast Drivelines. So definitely Zero hook, hit them up if you want a one-piece drive shaft, and they will definitely take care of you. But my drive shaft shop, DSS one piece, I've had no problems with it. Damon, 6-speed transmissions are not a mistake. You just you just shot an arrow through your through Jay's heart. Jay's a 3-pedal guy. He's a stick guy, 100%. 100%. Oh, Max says 6-speed auto. It's a Ram. 01 racing. I'll look into that. What about the lockout kit? You definitely want to get a lockout kit. If you're going to go one-piece drive shaft, you definitely need to get the lockout kit. You definitely want to lock that cradle in 100%. and that's no matter which one piece you go with. I would definitely do the lockout kit. Damon, it's on auto. Yep. Mac, I'm pretty sure that's the gentleman I met a week or so ago doing a cam on his Ram. All right. BB, what's up, buddy? Thanks for chiming in. How many runs you going to take it easy until you push shake and bake now? So I can't push shake and bake yet. And I can't push it. I can't push her until at least Friday. After Friday, technically we could go to the track on the same torque converter we have, try and stall it up and try and make some good passes. We can definitely do that and see what we can do with the current torque converter, and you know, we could do some comparisons to you know, the Rocky Mountain Race Week times to times we run possibly this weekend. We could do that. But really, the next time that we're really going to be able to push shake and bake is after we get that torque converter in and we do some 1/8 mile passes to get the front half dialed in, get the trans shifting and all of that stuff 100% dialed in. Then it's 100% go time. You might have missed that. I said that earlier, but yeah, after Thursday next week is 100% go time. So it's coming. It's just taking some time to get everything put together. We were gonna try and do the triple pumps on Saturday night, but it just started getting dark, and it just it would have took us. You know, it's gonna take a couple, probably an hour, at least probably 2 hours or so to get it all wired in. And it was dark. It was already getting late. So yeah, we had to get back home safe and sound. So that's why we didn't do it on Saturday last weekend. And we're going to finish it up on Friday. We're going to do some dyno pulls Friday evening. And then we'll look at trying to get to the track this weekend. And that way we technically could compare some times and go from there. Jay's going back to Mac. One bad plum. They have one as well. Yep. Mac, I have East Coast making him one right now. Damon, yeah, that was me. All right. Eric, I need a cam for my Ram. Hint, hint, Mac. Eric's hinting at you, Mac. APS is about to do a full billet trans HP 70 for Mac. That'll be interesting to see what happens. Mac, waiting on Pro Charger to get back to me about that final number. Then we'll really have some good racing competitions between us. Yeah, we'll have a lot of fun. Mac and I, man, we talked for, I don't know, a good 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour the other day about, you know, the route he's going to go and everything. And we're going to almost be twinsies, except he's going to have a 70 and I'm going to have a 90. That'll probably be pretty close to the only difference between the setups. Jay, 1233. If I'm right, you shave $50 off the cam sale as my reward. All right. Horsepower price is right. Yes, sir. Mac, we all need to get out to a rental. We definitely need to get a rental, no doubt. Once my space trans and converter is in, I'm going to the no prep. When the built trans and drive shaft and converter comes back, I'll wait to hit the prep and have fun. Yeah, buddy. There's a reward for getting it right. $50 off a Mac built cam. Laugh out loud. I want to change my number. All right. That's funny. Mid-September is when we'll be 100% basically with things dialed in, the lower gear shifts for him to go nuts with. Yep. Timothy's going back to Jay. He took his number. And so Jay's in at 1233. Scully Quill, out of curiosity, what engine mods would you recommend for the 5.7? Maybe for a budget of about $3K and parts, not including labor. So I did a video. I did a $2,500 build, and then I did a $5,000 build. So you could kind of go, in the middle. But here's what I would say, Quill. I would first thinking about your long-term goal. What is your long-term goal for the car? Whether that be a horsepower number, a time, something like that. So once you decide what that is, then you can decide on a budget and kind of make a plan. Starting out, for $3K, it's really tough. First you're going to have to start off with a tune. That's going to be between getting your PCM unlocked, getting the tuning hardware, and actually getting a custom tune. You're in $1,000, $1,200, maybe a little more. Maybe you're closer to half of your budget already. Then you could look at either... Yeah, that's tough. You could go with either some SRT headers, or you could possibly squeeze some long tube headers in there. But that's $1,500 is right on the edge of some long tube headers. So tuning hardware, and maybe long tube headers. And that really depends on where you're going with the build. Also, you could do, if you didn't want to do long tube headers, you could do the 6.4 intake manifold. And Mac's done a lot of testing between the 6.1 and the 6.4 manifold. If you plan on going boost in the future, I would lean towards trying to find a 6.1 intake manifold. And then, yeah. So long tube headers, intake manifold. Intake manifold is going to be about half as cheap as your headers. 6.1 manifold you can get for $800-900, somewhere around in there. Sometimes it's just where you can find them. So if you're gonna go boost in the future, if you're gonna keep the car a daily driver, you could do a 6.4 intake manifold, and getting everything to make it all work is gonna get you in about $800-900 too. So roughly the same amount. So yeah, I would go for tuning hardware, get your PCM unlocked, and then look at maybe an intake manifold to start getting air into the car. Matter of fact, you could do an intake manifold and some 6.4 headers. So SRT headers, they're more mid-length than they are shorties. Don't buy a pair of shorties. Stay away from shorties. Get the SRT ones. So there you go. Let me go through it one more time. Unlock, tuning hardware, tune, intake manifold, and SRT headers. And you'd pick up 60, 70 horsepower from all of that, maybe a little more depending on the tune. So that would set you up pretty good for right at $3,000, maybe a tad more, but in that ballpark. 1234 because of OCD. Here we go with the one above, one below. That's awesome. You guys are killing me. Randy, when is the last time that you went to Cecil County? Going to track the RT 914 car show that Sunday. I'll look and see. I should be able to make it. If it's hopefully they're doing test and tune at the same time. But yeah, I'll try and make it there on September 14th. Mac, when's the car show? I think that's the 21st, right? So I should be able to make it to Cecil County on the 14th. if I don't go to Mo Party. I've been thinking about going to Mo Party, but I don't know. But if I don't go to Mo Party, I can make it to Cecil. Jay Quell, 3K. I'd say save up another 1K and buy a used blower from someone. That's not necessarily a bad idea. That's not necessarily a bad idea too. But keep in mind, you're still gonna have to get your PCM unlocked, your tuning hardware, and a tune, which is probably going to be in the $1,500 range by the time you do all of that. Mac, he claims the 70 will hold 14 wheel horsepower or more. I plan to run shear fab, air to water top, and that's really about it. I'm going to use maybe a little bigger converter speed, but the same exact cam. Right on. Andrew, welcome. Thanks for chiming in, buddy. Appreciate it. Got my Pro Charger installed and tuned by OST. Running great for a week now, reducing the pulley size because I've been making too much power. Well, you want to increase the pulley size. You want to increase the pulley size. You don't want to go smaller. You want to go bigger. If you go smaller, it's going to make more boost. You want to go bigger so it makes less boost. So that's awesome. That's awesome, Andrew. Glad it's working out for you. Yeah, I love the Pro Charger, man. I have a blast. As a matter of fact, my setup and stuff is the one that got Mac pretty much going Pro Charger, I think. But yeah, we'll see, man. That's awesome. And yeah, love the Pro Charger. All right, Jay's going back to Mac. I need to lock it out. Yes. Yeah, you got to lock it out, Jay. Mac. Oh, and I'll be using the NX stuff for fuel. The Holly will come later. I'll be stock ECU to start. Yep, so he's going. Nitrous Express is currently making a Scat Pack 5.7 triple pump setup. So that's what he's talking about. Do the Gringo Terra interview Miles Kerr did. That car is now a legend and started as a 6K daily. Yeah, I'll have to listen to that for sure. Stock ECU to the front until Dave finishes up Fuel Tech for me. All right, Jay. Eric, sounds like a beast to Mac. Good suspension. She'll be dialed in. Yes, sir. BB, are there any long tube headers that don't hang down real low on a Challenger? No, any set of long tube headers is going to be really become your low spot in the car. I'm pretty sure mine are the lowest point in the car. And that's just because they're long tube headers. Yeah, that's no matter who you go with. And I would tell you, don't skimp on the long tube headers. I would either go with, got it, Cooks is expensive, but I've had mine for 6 years, 6.5 years, somewhere around in there. Zero issues, zero concerns. Nothing has gone wrong with those long tube headers. I've never had them come loose. I mean, I got some dings and dents in them because they do hang low and you're going to, run over speed bumps and stuff like that. But that's going to be any long tube headers. But, I'd be careful of the cheaper long tube headers that are out there because a lot of people are having a lot of installation. BBK. JBA. Having a lot of problems when it comes to install. So if it were me, I would go Cooks or Texas Speed. I think Texas Speed makes a pretty good set that there's not a whole lot of installation issue. And I know Mac has installed a lot of Texas Speed long tube headers, so he may correct me on that, but I think they don't have any install issues. Tim just can't swing like the duels, Mac. All right. Mac also doing 2-inch Cook's long tube headers with loud valves set up for daily, aluminum for race only stuff. I think that boils it down. All right, Mac. Eric, Frankenstein is going to be a whole new monster. Yeah, Frankenstein is going to be ridiculous, to be honest. It really is. Jay's going back to Eric. So Jay said he's fixed the video. Make sure you make that spelling correction too. One bad plum. I run 6.4 manifolds with Hellcat mids on my 5.7. Yep, you can't go wrong with the 6.4 manifolds, man. They are not. If you can't afford long tube headers, the 6.4 ones are a good substitute. Eric, I was wondering why it was like that wasn't asking. All right, Mac, best ground clearing headers are a brand I've seen crack, unfortunately, and it's the only brand we have issues with. The O2's reading all weird and causing the car to run goofy. Stainless work stuff. So there you go. I would probably stay away from Stainless Works. Like I said, Cooks or Texas Speed. What's the downside of shorty headers? I have BBK shorties on my truck. There's really nothing wrong with shorties. They're obviously better than the log that comes on the 5.7s, because that log is absolutely terrible. It's just there's more gains to be had with long tube headers than there is with shorties. Shorties give you a little bit, long tubes give you a little bit more. And plus, especially depending on what your goals are, if you go boost and things like that, long tubes become even more beneficial the more further down the performance road you go. So really, it boils down to horsepower. J5X, ported head CNC estimated gains. If you're naturally aspirated, very little. If you're on a 5.7 Eagle or if you're on a 6.4 Apache heads, you probably won't see literally anything, maybe a handful. Now, if you're boosted, that's a different story. You could see 20 to 30, give or take. Maybe a little bit more depending on how much boost you're running and stuff. But if you're NA, I wouldn't worry about ported head, especially if you have Eagle heads or Apache heads. I wouldn't worry about porting your heads. Right now, I'm on stock 6.4 Apache heads and making 1,200 horsepower. So if that doesn't say something, then I don't know what will. Yeah, Saturday's a test tune. Okay. All right. If I don't go to Moparty, I will be there. I will try and be there that Saturday. Timothy, I said 1, 2, 3, 4 last week. YouTube has the receipt. All right, Tim. 1, 2, 3, 4 is yours, buddy. Best springs to use, pack or PSI valve springs. So I've had both. I got pack in the car now. I've had PSI in my earlier build. The 5.7 build were all PSI springs, and I don't think you can go wrong with either one of those. I really don't. They're both great valve springs. Max, CNC doesn't mean good. Keep that in mind. Depending on what done will depend on gains with heads done right. Yeah, like I said, if you're at A, you may see 5 or 10. Maybe. Tim, Eagle heads flow pretty dang well without a bigger cam, bore, stroke, etc. Yeah. I mean, like I said, and back to J5X, I'm guessing you have a 5.7, but if you have a 6.4 with Apache heads, yeah. Totally understandable. That's what I figured. Perfect. Andrew, yeah, I meant to say that. All right, buddy. It's all good. It's all good. Sometimes I got to read into these comments and think about it for a sec. One bad plum. Eagle ported heads with larger exhaust valves. Now, yeah, that's an option, but then that's a lot more work, right? That's one more step for the engine shop to put larger exhaust valves in there. But if you're not doing your exhaust valve and you're leaving all that stock, it's Eagle heads flow really, really well. Jay, plan on rebuilding my 5.7, so looking into getting brand new heads with my FRP cam, etc. Now, Jay, if you plan on going boost, all right, it may be worth. To be honest, that would be one of the last things I would do is port your head if you're going boost, just because the gains aren't. The gains are there, but you're going to gain more by doing all of the other mods to catch up if you're going boost. So I'm debating on buying stock heads and port them, or buy brand new CNC ported heads. Price isn't the problem. Like I said, you'll gain a little, but I don't think it's worth buying brand new CNC ported heads. Even the cheap ones are like $1,500. I mean, if you got stock heads and you can port them yourself, then that's a different story. I would just go ahead and do it. Yeah. All right. Enough ported heads. Randy, coming down from Harrisburg Saturday and Sunday to CNC for test and tune in the show. Okay. All right. Yeah. Like I said, if I don't go to Mo Party, I will see you at Cecil, hopefully. Ronnie, with 370 LSD combined with the cam, 6.4 intake, long tube headers, and tune do well for a weekend warrior. Don't track the car, but want to still be able to travel to car shows. Currently running a 307 open diff. You could go with the 373s. There's not many of those. I'm taking this as a newer car, but there's not many 373s out there. I'm not sure if it's on direct connection, but I would just go with the 309 limited slip, to be honest. Especially if you're traveling a lot, the 309 is going to get you better gas mileage than the 370. 370 is kind of tall for these engines and trans. They really love the 309. If you notice, all the fast Hemis are running 309 diffs. So I would go with the 309 diff, 6.4 intake, long tubes, and a tune, and you'll be set for a weekend warrior. And that setup you could actually take to the track and have some fun. Eric, Texas Speed looks like quality product. They do put out a nice one. Boosted boat. Don, do you mind sharing what front suspension you have that I'm using? So I have Demon Killer springs. I have Lakewood 9010s up front, and the rest of it's all stock. So the springs and shock are different. Everything else is stock. And if you're going to do more daily driving, I would suggest the 70-30 springs up front. The 90-10s, you're going to feel a lot of the road. You're going to feel a lot of the road. Or 70-30s, you're still going to feel the road, but probably not as bad. But I got 90-10s. Eric, everything they make looks good. Yep. Yeah, Ronnie. Like I said, go with the 309 LSD. Texas Speed is solid. They have a nice ball clamp. Only thing that sucks is a tube they have welded on for the EGR that 99% of folks don't need. Gets in the way of the dipstick bolt. I bend them down. There you go. Texas Speed, do they make them in-house? I'm not sure if they do or not. Also, what about Hooker? I haven't heard a lot of people using Hooker headers. So I don't have any experience with that. Maybe someone else down the road does, but I don't have any experience with them. Hang on. What's up, buddy? Come here. Go out back. You gotta go outside. Go out back. Trying to take care of Bean. Ronnie, why a 370? Is it an auto? Yeah. Mac, doubt it. Probably China. Cooks 100% in-house. And I'm going to tour and pick my stuff up there in person. Great people. Yep. Mac, appreciate it. Nice, Mac. Jay wants to go. I wouldn't mind going myself. Actually, Borla's made like 30 miles from my cabin in Tennessee. I'd love to go see them in Johnson City, see their shop. I'm in trouble, Mac. When is Dave's event? Oh, where's Mo Party? That's in Beach Bend, Kentucky, is where Mo Party is at. Ronnie, 3-pedal J. I have a 2016 Challenger RT 8-speed auto. Found a diff for 500 with low miles. Local, but can't find any opinions on the gear ratio. I mean, that's not that's cheap. That's cheap for a low mile diff. But 370, man, that's a lot of gear. That's a lot of gear for the 8-speed, to be honest. Like I said, I would I mean, you could go with the 370s. I've used 370s before, and or 390. No, 370s I had before. It's going to lower your gears a lot. So first gear basically becomes unusable because it's so short with that high of a gear. So I would look for a 309 if you could get it. Timothy, Bowling Green. Yes, Mo Party is in Bowling Green, Texas. Beach Bend is the name of the racetrack. J15 Shaker RT Plus. All right. Jay's going back to Ronnie. Yeah, I really didn't do well with the 370 gearing. Mac. Bigger valves and the wrong valve job can really kill the head more than anything. Again, they have to be done right, and most aren't. That's true. T-Techs are super expensive. Now, all the fast Hemis, all the big fast Hemis do go with the T-Tech heads, but it's a stiff price to pay for them bad boys. Dells, if I do a 309 swap from my stock 262 differential, should I refresh my transmission tune? No, you don't have to. You don't have to. It's all based on the car will adjust for itself. You could do some logs and send them to your tuner and say, hey, how's this stuff look? And they can decide if they want to retune it or not. But I don't think you need to retune just for a 309 swap. Jay, my stock heads went bad. That's why you're looking to replace them. Okay, I got you. But yeah, if you get a nice set of Eagle heads, I mean, if you're willing to port them yourself, if I could do porting myself, I would go ahead and port them, just because. But I wouldn't. If I were you, I wouldn't pay to have them ported. T-Techs are the Mac Daddy, but most can't take advantage of the flow. It's correct. How did your heads go bad? Please explain. At 400 plus CI and or boost. Yeah, buddy. Mac. I took a 6.4 with an MMX V2 cam, changed to my V4 cam, ported his heads to my extreme style and added the loud valves, gained 74 wheel horsepower NA. That's significant. Stock valves in my hand roll blended valve job. Yeah, buddy. There's gains there, but you got to do a little more than just porting the heads to make it worth it. NA. So, and you know, I got you, Mac. You're changing from one cam to your cam, the heads and change the valves, right? So you got to do a little bit more to get that 74 wheel horsepower than just porting. Jay, I've rebuilt plenty of heads that look bad, just needed valves replaced. Yep. Jay, I've never seen even the big bears do better than 6.4s on the dyno. Don't be selling that. 300 to life. What's up, buddy? Thanks for chiming in. Appreciate it. How do you feel about the twin turbocharged 3-liter inline 6 engine that's Stellantis, the Hurricane? I think it's interesting. You know, there's some videos that car doesn't launch very well, but of course it's a 6-cylinder, right? And not sure they had that car set up 100% correctly, but I think it has potential. You know, there's a lot of inline 6s out there that make ridiculous power, and even on direct connection, you can get the Hurricane engine with 1,000 horsepower. So it's not that you can't make great power with inline 6s. You can. You know, the GTRs out there, the GTRs of the world, right? The Porsches of the world. There's plenty of examples of 6-liters making great power. It's just us old folks are stuck in our ways, and we want V8s. just for the sound. Now the sound there is a big difference in sound. And just we're old school American and just want those big V8s. But yeah, the Hurricane has potential. I know that they've been having problems in a lot of the Wagoneers that they put that engine into, so they got some tweaks they got to do to fix the Hurricane, but definitely has a lot of potential. Mac, I'm not selling anything. The shop don't sell, bro. I just know most folks don't have the setups to leverage T-Tex. Yeah, buddy. One bad plum went with larger exhaust valves on mine for efficiency with the cam that I'm running. Yep. It's all about setup, and there's all these little tweaks, you know. It's kind of like, you know, these V1 through whatever cams and stuff, right? You know, there's other things that go into the cam than just, you know, lift and duration. There's LSA and lift and duration in other parts of the cam that can differ. So just because, you know, I'm just throwing a stupid number out there, you know, a 220, 230 cam, you could have a 220, 230 cam from two different people, and it functions totally different. Because the LSA is different and some of the other stuff's different. So be careful when you're just talking about, you know, certain numbers and when it comes to cams and stuff. But there's definitely other things you can do to support a cam, like bigger exhaust valves and things like that. 100%. Mac, only aftermarket head I'd consider now is trick flow stuff because I know all about their history. From all years messing with them, they understand airflow, and I'd only use them for very high. Yeah, 300 to life. It will suck until the aftermarket steps in and allows for tuning and port injection. Jay, it's a bit complicated to explain how but my heads are leaking. I did a leak test, definitely coming from the heads. Haven't pulled the heads off yet to fix it, but just want to order heads now, etc. Gotcha. So Mac's going back to his comment. So I'd only use them for very high boost stuff when material is needed, and the dual springs. I'm talking 30 plus PSI. Yeah, buddy. Gotcha, Jay. You're just trying to figure out the best route. I got you. I got you. We can all afford 3K rocker arms and shafts. Yeah. Nice Mac. We need to get one of those dart blocks and do a 30 psi build. Yeah, right. BGE heads with the OEM Hellcat springs are strong enough for 99% of builds. I still think a lack of understanding when it comes to tuning is why people lift heads anyway. That is true. Timing curve misunderstanding. Explain if you don't mind. I think that's for you, Mac. I'm not a fan of the sodium-filled valves. Honestly, Mac, I like replacing them with manly setup. Stainless valves seem to be a little stronger. Yeah, that's true. Are the Hellcat OEM valves sodium? Jigstan, how are you guys doing? I'm getting my car back next week. Then it's dyno nitrous time. Nice. Awesome. It's always nice to hear someone getting their car back. Get that bad boy on the dyno and throw some nitrous at it. That's Road Race Tech. Yep. Jay, Bet, thanks for the help. Hey, that's why we do these Wednesdays, man. I know a lot of people hit me up on my IG and my DMs and stuff, and I'm like, hey, if you got time, hit up Wednesday night and come in like Quelly Quell. Hey, hit us up Wednesday night. We answer a lot of questions. A lot of people ask a lot of questions, and we put out a lot of good information. And we've got, decades worth of experience between Jay, Mac, Tim, one bad plum. All these people got decades and decades of experience doing this stuff. So it's so it's all good. Mac, tell that to Don's sodium-filled valves. I know Mac is nuts, right, Jay? He really is. It's weight and heat control. You don't want to add heavy valves to a head. You beat things to death, and the spring has to do more work to control that. Yeah. Sodium fill. Yep. They are filled with sodium. Our stock Apaches sodium filled. That is sick if it's the case. They are, I believe. 6.1 valves are sodium, 6.4 and 6.2. So there you go. They're sodium filled. The exhaust is. Okay. Tim, never knew that. Stop making me want to do a 6.4. I tell you, don't get me wrong. Y'all know my heart bleeds 5.7. But that 6.4 is just stupid. It is just stupid. It really is. Jay, I need to get back down with my 6.1s so we can make some power out of them units. Yeah, buddy. Valve issues come from poor valve control and tuning. Simple as that. I've seen stock valves with stock 6.4 heads make well into the 1300s and be fine. I don't plan to change mine at all. There you go. Timmy stuff 5.7. Leave the 6.4s for me to buy. Mac, stock 6.1s are 100% made by Herrera, and people use to change them out for heavy manly stuff and go backwards. Yeah. There's 500 plus miles of Hemis between. It's all right, Tim. The 6s just sound like, yeah. I know we're going back to the Hurricane engine. Jay's going back to Tim. Eric loved learning all this info. Like I said, Eric knows we put out a lot of information because we get a lot of questions. And so, some of the questions are over and over again every week, but it's always nice to just, sit down, talk about cars, talk about mods, and get the experience of the folks that's, my experience is very limited compared to a lot of people in the chat. So we got a lot of experience, and this is the perfect avenue to take advantage of that. Engine nerd. We're getting there, that's for sure. And Tim, you know the deal. We haven't even scratched the surface of really getting putting on the glasses nerd. When we get to that point, we're really in trouble. Yes, timing curves and fueling and whatnot. Yep. Cody, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it. You're coming into the tail end, but hey, you're here. That's all that matters. You guys got to get that that Jeep together. We got to be ready for next year, man. I need you to keep up with me. We have some good races. That's the key for keeping engine alive. Yep. It is tuning. It's all about tuning. I want to do a 150 shot and flex fuel. Hope to get around 570 to 600. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. But like we always say, it boils down to tuning. It really boils down to tuning and keeping your car safe. Now, some people will, if you say you want 600 horsepower, they'll max out the timing and all that stuff and get you a couple runs at 600 and then it'll blow up. So be careful what you ask for. Keep it within reason and just make sure they know you want the car to be safe. Don't push it over the limit to get to 600. Mac, same reason a Pro Charger is easier on engine's lifespan. High RPM power is easier on the rods compared to making it down low. Torque is a killer while lugging. Yeah. Cody, will a Hellcat throttle body plug directly to the 6.4 plug? Yes. Yep. I know it's a different bolt pattern, but I have an aftermarket intake manifold going on anyways. Thanks. Yes, it will. Yeah, the plugs. Yeah, I didn't have to change my plugs. Plugs are the same. For the Jeep, do y'all recommend the 5.7 or the 6.4? Man, I would just go all, if you can, right? So it boils down to money, right? And budget. If you can buy the 6.4, I would buy the 6.4, really. Though I do love 5.7s. Don't get me wrong. I do love 5.7s. So if you're looking to just go ahead and boost right off the bat, get a 5.7. If you're looking to do a little work to it, put some drop-ins in, and then boost it, go 6.4. So if you got the money to boostify, I'm going to make that a word, boostify the 6.4, I would go 6.4. Yes, Cody, if it's a year later. Yep, you're good, Cody. Yeah, I got a Hellcat throttle body on my car too. All right, we're coming down to the last 5 minutes. Let me get through some more of these. Hard Rock, my tech told me that if I added nitrous 100 shot to my stock 392, I should get forged internals. I think you'll be okay with 100 shot as long as you don't go over that. Jay's kind of the nitrous guy. He used to run nitrous all the time back in the day. So yeah, there he is. Jay said 100 shots fine. Just get tuned. Again, back to tuning. Tuning is key for everything to keep everything safe. Hard Rock wouldn't want to blow my Hemi. That's for sure. Moon tune. Yep. Octane Jimmy, buy once, cry once. You know it. Cries in the stock rank. Gotcha. Don needs that on a shirt. Yeah, I need to get someone to start designing some shirts for me. Put some shirts out there. Done a 200 on a stock 6.4, more than one. But fuel, plugs, tuning, and using a ramp up is key. Yep. Okay, that's what I was wondering about. Pre-2018 6.4 is weaker, but drop-ins will be sufficient for boost. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you're looking at it. We did a set of drop-ins, and 24, 23 and a half, 24 pounds of boost, and with 1,200 horsepower, almost. 200 is crazy. Yeah. Yep. 5 minutes is BS. I request an additional 60 minutes. Dude, I wish I could do another 60 minutes. We could do these for 2 hours, but I really got to cut it off in an hour. 300 plus is crazy. Yeah. Dude, you can make the same Don's making with the pre-BGE. Stop letting the internet act like they're weak. Yeah. Yeah, you can do the same thing with the pre-BGE block. But 2018 6.4 is a BGE block. It's mine's a 20, I think it was 2022, 2023 it was built. I can't remember. But jig stand, yeah. If you get a BGE 6.4 and put drop-ins in, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit on how much power you want to make and how much money you want to drop in it. But you're wild, bro. Max, currently running 120 shot on a 5.7 Henley, only upgrades air intake, 6.1 headers, and Diablo tune. I've shot it about more than 10 times at least in the past 3 weeks. Is my engine cooked? 120. You're probably okay. I wouldn't go any more than 120. But no, I don't think your engine's cooked. But what I would do is in your next oil change, I would do 2 things. One, get the oil filter, cut it open, check it, see if there's any metal up in there. And then the second thing I would do is go get it what is it? What do they call it? Send it in and get it looked at by one of those oil looking at companies. God, the word's escaping me right now. But yeah, I would take a sample, send it into one of those places and get it looked at and make sure your engine's still okay. But I think I think you're okay. But I'd be careful about spraying that a lot. That's a lot of nitrous. We have a Hellcat on 20 PSI, 240 shot, stock block. All right, Cody, have a great night, buddy. Go take care of that baby. Yeah, then I'll go SRT Jeep. I think the beefier suspension will help launch control. Yeah, Mac, that's not fair. We both know customers nuts, fam. 6.1 blocks were the rage. Some people still use them. Yeah, 6.1 blocks there's nothing wrong with those either. Yep. About to do his other 20 PSI to 200. I think I know who you're talking about. It is crazy. He just has all the money. He does. He does have a pocket full of cash. That's for sure. Definitely crazy money. Are you adding nitrous to shake and bake? It all depends. I want to see what we get out of the new torque converter. If we can get into the 1.3s with just the torque converter, I don't think we really need nitrous. But if we're still stuck in 1.4s, we'll look at throwing some nitrous in there. Probably just a 50, 75 shot to get out of the hole and then let the Pro Charger eat from there. Transmissions haven't been murked, but the engine's fine. Yep. All right. It is past 10 o'clock, folks. I let Blackstone Labs. Yep. To check the oil. Yep. That's what I was talking about. I would get your oil check. Lodge 1, best cam for a 6.1 stock motor. Dude, you came in at 10 o'clock. I do cut these off in an hour. Mac, if you can answer that 6.1 question, can you do that real quick before I cut off as I do my outro? Give that guy some advice. To be honest, I would ask Mac anyway. Ask him do a cam for you. But that's gonna do it for this one, folks. Hey, I appreciate y'all chiming in, supporting me, supporting the channel, supporting Shake and Bake. I love each and every one of you, and y'all have a great week and a great weekend, and we'll see you next Wednesday. That's it for this one, folks. Till next week. Adios. There you go, Olajuwon. Hit up Mac Built on IG. Mac Built on IG.